Well, as far as the power tariff in Karnataka is concerned, it continues to be a hot topic here in the state with the rise that, of course, recently that came in, which is affecting, of course, domestic and commercial users. The Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah today held a very crucial meeting with trade bodies, government officials and other stakeholders to really discuss the power tariff concerns. We should also here note that just yesterday, of course, the Karnataka Chamber of Commerce held a protest and a bandh call, of course, was there in various parts of Karnataka. The FKCCI today decided that they will meet the Chief Minister. As of now, it has been decided that a meeting of all the trade bodies, including FKCCI, KSSAI, KCCI, will all be called on Monday, but a final decision will be taken on the demands that have been put forth by the trade unions. The government, of course, has been facing fierce criticism for allowing power tariffs to be hiked. Now, this year alone, the price of electricity has been hiked by about 1 rupee, or rather even a little more than that in Karnataka. Yesterday, the trade body held a bandh to draw the attention of the government towards the need for a solution somewhere and the reduction in the electricity prices. Now, on the 12th of May, Karnataka Electricity Regulatory Commission, or the KERC, hiked the power tariff by about 70 paise per unit on the average, the sharpest revision that we've seen in about a decade. Now, later on, another hike of about 51 paise per unit was announced, citing fuel and power purchase cost adjustment. Now, earlier, of course, Mr. Siddaramaiah on his part said that the decision was not taken by his government, but by the KERC, and which came in during the time of the BJP. So, at this point in time, the blame game continues. We, of course, discussed this issue in detail, over the last few days, where the industrial bodies, trade unions, all of them, of course, are saying we are taking a hit. We are just recovering after COVID, but the burden is back on us. We spoke to the president of the FKCCI a little while ago. Firstly, let's listen into what he had to say after meeting the Chief Minister.
So whatever the demands we have kept, they have accepted for that one, and they are going to call the joint meeting of FKCCI, KCCI, and even the Hubli KCCI and Belgaum Chamber. All the district chambers are going to be called on Monday, and afterward further discussion is going to take. And we have requested our Chief Minister, because he is also a Finance Minister, to consider all our demands. And once the Monday meeting is going to happen, then we can know the right picture.
Now, you can, of course, see the Energy Minister there, along with the Chief Minister and several stakeholders of the FKCCI, the KSSAI as well. They too were a part of this particular meeting. It's a crucial meeting, of course, that was underway earlier in the day. And more importantly, right now, we should note that the Chief Minister, of course, has called all the bodies once again to meet him on Monday. Now, it's going to be very important to note here, of course, that some of the demands that the FKCCI really put is to reduce the charges, or rather the tax, from 9% to 3%. Now, this is, of course, the electricity tax that there is, where the industries, of course, bear most of this. Now, more importantly, more than the domestic users, of course, the commercial users really have a big issue where they do, of course, have to deal with huge amounts of electricity bills, which is one of the biggest expenses if you take a look. Now, more importantly, of course, to discuss more about this, we're going to be joined in by a few guests. I believe that we do have from the BJP, Mr. Bhaskar Rao. Mr. Bhaskar Rao from the BJP is going to join us. We are also going to be joined in by Mr. Samruddh Hedge, the spokesperson in Congress from the Congress party, and also Manu Ayappa, a political editor from the Times of India in Bengaluru, also is going to be joining us. We're going to be discussing in detail about this power tariff hike and how really it affects people in Karnataka. Now, while, of course, trade unions have been talking about this in detail, this is, of course, a big issue. Let me first, come to the Congress spokesperson here. Now, today's particular meeting, of course, was supposed to resolve this particular issue, but, it still hasn't. Now, if you could tell us, again, a meeting has been called on Monday. How can we really look at a solution here? Because the demand has been put forth, at least from the FKCCI, that there should be a decrease in, the electricity tax from 9% to 3%.
Thank you for having me on the show, Deepak. Firstly, I'd like to clarify the fact that even the Chief Minister has clarified the fact that the Jyothi scheme has nothing to do with the hike in tariff. This tariff hike has been done solely by the KERC, and the order has been passed much prior to the coming of this government. The order of hike in tariff was passed on May 12th. That is prior to our government coming into power. The Chief Minister has met with all the stakeholders today, and we shall come to a proper solution. And we shall meet on Monday again, and we shall come to a proper solution which shall benefit all. We are not trying to have a government of one or two corporates. We are having a government which is flexible with all, to the consumer and to the businesses and the MSMEs.
Okay, I'm not able to hear you very clearly there. I think, your line is a little weak there, Mr. Samruddh. I'll ask the BJP as well here. You have been, of course, Mr. Bhaskar, you've been speaking a lot about, how the government has been unfair. But this entire charge of the Congress parties, this was not even something that the Congress introduced. This is something that, a directive that came in from the KERC. The BJP just kept it in abeyance. And right now, in terms of even standing up for these trade unions, for these, industrial bodies, is the BJP really doing enough as the opposition here?
Hello,
Mr. Rao?
can I speak? Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, please go ahead.
Am I audible? Can I speak?
I can hear you clearly, Mr. Bhaskar.
At the outset, Congress has started a very dangerous fiscal policy of freebies which it is not able to honor. They made an election promise saying that from day one they will start giving these unreasonable guarantees. Now they are coming up with one reason or the other and looking for people to blame because they are unable to fulfill these guarantees. People are demanding, and even those who are in the field of economics as well as who are in public finance are also saying that this is bad economics. How long can they go on sustaining? These guarantee cards which the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister signed and told in colloquial language was literally buying votes from the people. Ninugu free, Aunugu free, Kaka Patil free. This is no way to do politics by squandering government money. And now they are looking for people whom they have to blame. No government has earned a bad name in less than 1 month after having been sworn in, after having been given such a big mandate. Today, the trade bodies, that is especially the manufacturing units, have gone on a strike. What a great shame it is. As it is, the manufacturing GSDP is the lowest both at national level as well as state level. If they are to go on strike, and this hike of 2 rupees 89 paisa, 1 rupee 49 paisa for fixed cost over there, and then 70 plus 70, 2 rupees 89 paisa is a huge hike. And the billing methodology, etc.
I think you were able to hear my question. I mean, we understand that there has been a hike. We understand that industrialists are, of course, saying that, we are getting burdened. We saw trade unions come out. We saw the KCCI stage a protest. The question is, what is the BJP doing? Being the opposition here, are you really raising your voice in their favor is the question. I'll come to Mr. Manu Ayappa here. Mr. Ayappa, of course, you've seen all of this play out over the last few years, where we've, of course, seen politician after politician, party after party make a lot of statements. But here, many trade unions are coming out. Yesterday, we had the KCCI president who went ahead and said that after COVID, this is the time for recovery. And now, if you're paying such huge amount of money, in terms of electricity charges, many of them will consider whether Karnataka is a good place to even open industries. Because they're saying neighboring states like Goa, Tamil Nadu all offer less in terms of electricity, prices.
Out. See, the efforts which our
government... let me take that to Mr. Manu Ayappa. I'd like him to
suddenly there is a price rise.
Yeah, Deepak, can I start?
Mr. Ayappa, go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah. of course, this is one of the 5 poll guarantees of the Congress, and they are in a bit of bother to implement this free power scheme, and they had not anticipated this problem. But since they have made it as a poll promises, they have to do it now somehow. And the cost of the exchequer is huge, of course. But on the one hand, there is the people, especially the small consumers who are consume less than 200 units, are very happy about it. The other hand, the big consumers like the industries are obviously not so happy, especially after the hike in power tariff. Of course, they are. It's a Robin Hood situation for them in Karnataka. The industries are actually paying the power bill of the poor. So some of that that situation has arrived. So obviously they're upset and they're asking for the rollback. But Karnataka government cannot afford to roll back the power tariff as of now, considering the cost of the 5 poll promises that they made before the elections. They have to implement, and it costs around 659,000 crore, which is a huge money, and they can't afford to roll back this power tariff. But the situation is such that the industries is hoping that there'll be some kind of a concession for them when CM meets them on Monday.
Yes, Mr. Manu Ayappa, I think you are right. At this point in time, the poll promises is something that, while of course the people of the state, probably voted for the Congress government to come to power because they believe that this would be of great help. But the question here is, how much of money do they really need to fulfill it? And because they need to compensate, how many hikes are we going to see? We're already, of course, looking at a hike in power tariff that, of course, has come by. We're looking at probably stamp duty that's going to be increased. There was also talks that, probably excise is something they could probably consider as well in terms of increasing the prices of that. All this, of course, we'll know in the first week of July when the budget session is called.
Can I clarify?
Milk price is going to increase.
Well, Mr. Rao, Mr. Samruddh and Manu Ayappa, request all of you to stay on with us. We are moving from one scheme to the other of the Congress party. I'm going to come to you on that as well, because now we are